This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
In 2012, Colorado and Washington became the first two states to legalize marijuana for recreational use. Since then, there have been many other states that have followed suit or are in the process of legalization. These states are rushing towards legalization as they are mainly seeking the economic benefits of legalizing marijuana and seeking to reverse the trend of incarcerating people for minor drug possession charges. Although these are important social considerations for states, there are clear problems that come with legalizing the drug. Drugs are controlled substances because they are detrimental to people. Marijuana is a Schedule I federally controlled substance because it has been found to be dangerous. There are questions that need to be addressed before any more states rush to legalize. These questions include increased use, use by children, regulations about intoxication levels, and interstate law issues during the legalization process. People and states are rushing to get on the legalized marijuana bandwagon, but there are too many political and social intangibles that must be figured out before people embrace this once outlawed drug. Social problems are arising and they serve as a major obstacle for the marijuana industry. Kevin Sabet, president and CEO of Smart Approaches to Marijuana, otherwise known as SAM, is worried about children being exposed to and eventually using marijuana, especially with the availability of marijuana edibles like cannabis-infused brownies and candy. Some stores sell products called ring pots and pot tarts, which clearly appeal to children. Sam notes that the younger a person is when exposed to marijuana, the more harmful it could be. Marijuana causes addiction in 1 in 6 kids, which is a terrible number. Some people argue that marijuana is not addictive, but the reality is quite different. Another social issue to take into account is the number of dispensaries that are being opened up. Many people in Colorado complain that the number of marijuana dispensaries is excessive. Over 200 locations sell marijuana across the city and county of Denver, more than the combined number of Starbucks, McDonald's, and Taco Bell outlets. This statistic would be funny if it was not true. A Schedule I drug should not be more available than a taco or fries. On the political side, the rise in marijuana consumption will continue to happen and create more problems like the one Nebraska and Oklahoma have had. Nebraska and Oklahoma have tried to sue Colorado over its legalization because of the problems it has caused inside their states. Marijuana is flooding into Nebraska and Oklahoma from Colorado because of a road trip making marijuana fully accessible. The U.S. Supreme Court in March dismissed a lawsuit by Oklahoma and Nebraska charging that Colorado's legalization was causing marijuana to flow across its borders and into their states, unfairly burdening law enforcement. Although this happened just between these three states, there will definitely be more problems like this if the drug was to be legalized in more states, so Americans will have to be prepared to handle an issue like this one. Let's look at what people who embrace legalizing marijuana are excited about. Money! At first glance, the economics of the marijuana industry looks enticing, but research exposes many issues that need to be addressed before it can become a mainstream commercial industry. A topic of concern of marijuana is state taxes. As of now, marijuana has become a boon for state taxes. Supporters of legalized marijuana say there is much to celebrate. Oregon began allowing the recreational use of marijuana in 2015, and sales since January have reached 60 million and generated 14.9 million in local tax. For a state still in the process of legalizing marijuana, Oregon is clearly a state to watch. Although this is a plus, the marijuana industry has encountered numerous problems because their source of income is still illegal according to the federal government. For example, business owners have run into trouble because of marijuana's Schedule I classification. Tim Cullen's marijuana business brought in millions of dollars last year, but he's had a hard time finding a bank to take the money. He cycled through 14 checking accounts in 6 years. Recently, he said a bank shut down all his personal accounts, including college savings for his 3-year-old son. Currently, businesses' expense that other entrepreneurs can claim cannot be claimed by business people who are associated with marijuana because it is essentially considered drug trafficking. Over the past year, concerns have grown over what industrial officials call their biggest challenge: most banks' refusal to accept money from marijuana dispensaries because of the drug's federal classification as an illegal narcotic. This is a huge concern because no one wants to have problems with the bank, and no one also wants to hold on to large amounts of money because the bank refuses to. Clearly, there are still lots of problems with the marijuana industry as a whole. It is really important to put this entire situation into context. Just 5 years ago, there was no legalized marijuana in the United States. Now there are 8 states where it is legal, and people are debating whether it should be legalized nationwide. It is moving too fast and without any regard to the social, political, and economic consequences for America. As of right now, marijuana should not be legalized until certain laws are put forth in order to make a smooth transition with the legalization of marijuana.